It's interesting that the palace have made it very clear now, they've sort of spelt it out, the rules, or at least the agreements by which Harry and Meghan are going to be able to come over for the Platinum Jubilee.
Yeah, but I think there's one thing in saying it and another thing endorsing it. And actually, it just confirms my idea that they had an ulterior motive. And I think they want to come because they want to make it up to Netflix and get loads more money. And they can, make sure that they are thought of as royals, and they will come over and take, snaps of them all the time. And then Harry will go and earn some more money by talking to another TV station, perhaps, and saying all the things that everybody said to him. I find it unbelievable and so despairing when I'm a real heavy monarchist, and I think it's going to be spoiled. They will spoil it because they will want attention. If they don't get attention, they will get attention by complaining they haven't got attention. And it's really all about our Queen. And she is having problems at 96. It's not unusual. I think it's so awful that they're taking over even now, which is, we're very close to it. And instead of being helpful and kind and willing, they are building up a whole other story for themselves. I do actually think it's also wrong to bring their small children over at this time. The Queen is going to be very, very heavily in demand. There's going to be a lot she has to do, and it's going to be quite hard for her because she hasn't got the energy and she hasn't got the mobility. So to have children, small children coming round who don't know you, for tea is another burden on her. They could have come at any time now and done it quietly and nicely, and that would be a very special, intimate family event. But now with so much going on, I just think it's the wrong time. And it's obviously chosen, in my view, to actually make some more money out of Netflix.
Icebreaker, though, isn't it? I mean, you sort of think bringing especially Lilibet, that the Queen has never met, and other members of the family haven't met. I mean, isn't that an important icebreaker, which is going to be necessary?
Well, it is an icebreaker, but you need a lot of time, don't you? And I think there's going to be so much going on. We don't know how long they're going to stay. If they stay a week or so, then maybe it's all right. But if they come, in the beginning of the 4 days of celebration, it's just too much. And actually, children of about 3 get very suspicious of strangers. They're not going to rush into anybody's arms they don't know, and they will feel overwhelmed because it's a very different environment. A 1-year-old is fine, tickle her tummy and she'll laugh and she'll be sweet and you get her to smile. It's not a problem. But 3, they are little people and they have a sense of who likes them and who doesn't. And they're very, very careful about suddenly needing their parents.
I guess with the Sussexes, they're damned if they do and they're damned if they don't at the moment. And even if they chose... Sorry, you don't agree?
Well, I don't actually. I think that the palace have been trying very hard to get them back into the family, but they won't do anything to help, really, to go off. You're supposed to have private conversations with the Queen that remain private, and to go off and sell it and complain about what's going on. You want to make sure the people are looking after her when you're living 5,000 miles away. I think he now can't be trusted. That's the problem. And I think that it's very, very difficult, the palace, to handle it. And there was a way of coming over. They could have come over for the memorial service, and they could have come over before that to introduce the children to the Queen. And so therefore it would all go smoothly. But it's all, are they in, are they out, are they coming, are they not coming? Is he playing polo, as it was said a week ago? No, he's coming. When is he coming? Who's coming? It's just playing games with all of us, but most of all with the royal family. I'm very sorry to say this because I was very, very fond of Harry when I wrote his biography. I spent over a year with him. I thought he had some amazing qualities, but unfortunately he's turned into somebody who is not so appealing, let's say that.
I mean, do you... I'm always reluctant to sort of say, well, it's the wife.
Yes, I know.
Sort of thing, because it does seem, in a way, it seems very unfair, because he must have been unhappy for quite a while, even before this relationship. Surely he's been unhappy with the situation.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the papers really pin the blame on Meghan, and is that really fair?
Well, they can put that to one side even, because he said to me, one of the chats we had, was that he was unhappy. He didn't want to live in a goldfish bowl. He wanted to be an ordinary person. He wanted to go to Africa and look after animals that were dying out. That's what he'd really love to do. So he was looking for a way out. But this is a completely different way of living. He's not living as an ordinary person. He's living as an extraordinary celebrity. And I think that you don't have to listen to your wife if she tells you something, I think, in this modern world. And I think that the blame, and it is blame, is on both of them. I don't think Meghan brings out the best in him. I mean, one hopes in a partner that you have someone who does bring out the best, not the worst in you. And I think she doesn't bring that out in Harry, whereas Kate brings it out in William and Camilla brings it out in Charles. I don't think she does, because she's never really understood the duties of being a member of the royal family. She couldn't understand it. We heard this last week, that she hated the tour in Australia when she was welcomed by hundreds and hundreds of people. He said, what are you doing here? It's ridiculous. She didn't seem to be able to grasp it. But Harry had told me that he spent a lot of time telling her what it would be like, what the restrictions were, what the advantages were. But she obviously didn't take it in, or he didn't explain it well enough.
Move on to William and Catherine just briefly, Angela, because the front page lead story of the Mirror this morning, the headline is "Just William," saying that the Cambridges were pretty shaken up by their Caribbean tour and some of the things that were perceived to have gone wrong on it. The sort of slightly old-fashioned paternalistic royal visit. And William is apparently talking about how he would rather like to drop his title now, and even when he's in public, and just be introduced as William, or Catherine just be introduced as Catherine, and not their Royal Highness or anything like that. Is that a good move, do you think? Or will it remove some of the special character of being royal?
I think it will remove some of the special character of being royal. I remember very clearly that during the pandemic, when they did an awful lot of remote meetings, talking to people, and Catherine and William would introduce each other as William and Catherine as William. And I think they were doing that to be more accessible, which in a way, when you're speaking to people virtually, now we're all used to it. But at the beginning, I thought it was a very nice thing. But you can't get away from the fact that he is a senior royal, and a lot of people still admire that. Not everybody's turning their back on that, and they want that magic which royalty does have, or the ones who are really keen and work hard have. And I think that it would be a bit of a disaster, because I think just before you said it's bad if you do, bad if you don't. This is the same sort of thing. And if people still call him, hi, William, and they lose a certain amount of respect, it becomes a little bit too pally. He needs to stay dignified. He needs to stay royal. That's what it's all about. I don't think you can chop and change in a way that I don't think that works at all.
No, it's a very interesting point, that. I sort of agree with you.
We don't want our royal family riding Boris bikes up and down the Mall, do we?
No, we don't.
We want them to be a bit special.
Just as you are, Angela.
Because I think people will feel they'll be intimate. They can ask them all sorts of questions, which he wouldn't like, really. He's not used to that. I think you have to, the head of a company, all sorts of people that you need to show respect to. You two, you don't just treat them as your best pals and want intimate information out of them straight away. It's a tricky path, and I think he should stick to being royal, which he's doing extremely well, as is Catherine.
Welcome to the GB News YouTube channel. You can watch us live 24 hours a day, catch up on your favourite shows, and join in the conversation in the comments below.
Don't forget to subscribe and you'll never miss any of our exclusive content.